Hello, great morning to each and everyone. I'm Teacher Ami. So, our lesson for this week is about special products. So, hindi po natin pwedeng kalimutan ang ating napag-aralan noong nagdaang linggo about the laws of exponent. We will use this laws of exponent or application of laws of exponent to answer and solve the different special products. Our learning competencies are the following. Uses models and algebraic methods to find the following. Letter A, product of two binomials. B, product of the sum and difference of two terms. Square of a binomial. Cube of a binomial. And square of a trinomial. So let us discuss first the product of two binomials. So if the given is the quantity x plus 4 and 2x plus 3, let us consider this is the first term, the second term, the third term, the fourth term. So, or this is the first term of the two binomials, the second term of the two binomials, x and 3 are the outer term, 4 and 2x are the inner term. So, we use the FOIL method in solving the product of two binomials. So, F stands for the first term, multiply the first term x times 2x. O stands for outer term, the x and 3, multiply the product of the first and the last term x times 3. And I stand for the inner term, multiply 4 times 2x. And L for the last term, or the second and the fourth term, so 4 times 3. Then, simplify our answer. So, itong x and 2x is multiply the first term of the two binomial. Ang x at 3 are the multiply the outer term, multiply the inner term, and multiply the last term of the two binomial. This is the procedure how to solve the two binomials. Use the FOIL method. Now, multiply and apply, of course, the laws of exponent x and 2x. So, add the exponent of x and x. So, 2x times x, 1 plus 1 is x squared, kaya 2x squared. Then, x times 3 is equal to 3x. 4 times 2x is equal to plus 8x. And 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Combine similar terms. The similar terms here is 3x and 8x. So therefore, the product of the two binomials is a trinomial. Therefore, our final answer, final product of the quantity of x plus 4 and 2x plus 3 is equal to 2x squared. 3 plus 8 is 11x plus 12. Okay, another example. The quantity of 2x minus 5 times the quantity 3x minus 7 is still we apply the FOIL method. Multiply the first term, 2x times 3x. The outer term, the first and the fourth term, 2x times negative 7. The inner term, negative 5 times 3x. And multiply the last term, negative 5 times negative 7. So it is equal 2 times 3 is 6. And x times x, 1 plus 1 is x squared. Then 2 times negative 7 is minus 14x. The negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. The negative 5 times negative 7 is equal to plus 35. Naka-underline ang similar terms na ating i-combine. If we observe, the sign are the same. So, we apply what we have learned in integers, that we add the common terms or the number and copy the common sign. So, bring down, it means the product of 2x minus 5 and 3x minus 7 Bring down 6x squared. Negative 14x plus negative 15x is negative 29x. Kaya minus 29x. And bring down 35. So this is the final product. Another example, the quantity 3x plus 2y times the quantity 4x minus 5y. Again, multiply the first term of 3x times 4x. Then, multiply the outer term, the first and the fourth term. So, 3x times negative 5y. The inner term, the second and third term, 2y times 4x. And multiply the last term, 2y and times negative 5y. Okay, so 3 times 4 is 12. X times x is x squared. Negative 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. X times y is xy. 2 times 4 is 8 and y times x is xy. Then 2 times negative 5 is minus 10 and y times y is y squared. So the final product of 3x plus 2y times the quantity of 4x minus 5y is equal to 12x squared minus 7xy. Subtract 15 minus 8 is 7 and copy the sign of 15 which is minus. And bring down minus 10y squared. Then, the last example, the quantity of A minus 3B times the quantity of 2A plus 9B. Apply the FOIL method. So, multiply the first term, A times 2A. Outer term, A times 9B. And the inner term, negative 3B times 2A. And multiply the last term, negative 3B times 9B. Next, simplify A times 2A ay 2A squared. A times 9B is 9AB. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And B times A is AB. And negative 3 times 9 is negative 27, kaya minus 27. And B times B ay B squared. Again, in-underline ko na ang similar terms na ating ko-combine. The sign are not the same, so subtract 9 and 6. And we have the final product of A minus 3B and 2A plus 9B is equal to, bring down 2A squared, 9 minus 3, 9 minus 6 is equal to 3AB, and bring down minus 27B squared. So I hope clear kung paano tayo mag-multiply ng binomial. Square of a binomial. So let us consider the given is the quantity of A plus B squared. And the product is A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. How come yan yung product niya? Ang ibig sabihin nitong A plus B ay dalawang beses tayo nag-multiply ng the quantity A plus B times the quantity A plus B. Pwede pa rin natin i-apply ang first product of first special product, which is the product of the two binomials using the FOIL method. We get the same answer kung yun ang ating gagamitin. O dun tayo mas sanay at mas convenient mag-solve, pwede pa rin. Pero ang shortcut computation for the square of a binomial, let us consider A is the first term and B is the second term. Ang first step ay square the first term. A times A is A squared. Next, i-multiply twice the product of the first term, the first and the second term. I-multiply ang binomial A times B at multiply siya ng dalawang beses. Kaya 2 times A plus B is 2AB. And to get the last term product, square the last term. B times B is equal to B squared. So we get A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. Ganon din ang makukuha natin sa using the FOIL method. Another example, the quantity of A minus B squared, it means A minus B times A minus B. If we use the FOIL method, multiply the first term A times A. Multiply the outer term A times negative B is minus AB. And negative B times A is minus AB. And negative B times negative B is B squared. We get the same answer. So if we apply the shortcut computation for the square of the binomial and follow the procedure, square the first term, A times A, and twice the product of A times negative B, plus B times B, or B squared. So we get A squared minus 2 times A times negative B is minus 2AB kasi negative. And B times B is B squared. Next, the quantity of 3x plus 2 squared. So it means from this, 3x squared times 3x squared plus 3x times 2 kasi dalawang beses natin i-multiply plus square the last term 2 times 2. So 3x times 3x, 3 times 3 is 9 and x times x is x squared. 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 2 ay 12x. And 2 squared means 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So this is the product of the square of binomial 3x plus 2 squared. Last example, the quantity of x minus 2y squared means the quantity x minus 2y times the quantity x minus 2y. Again, I repeat, pwede nyo pa rin gamitin ang FOIL method to get the product. But mas magandang sundin yung proper shortcut computation ng spatial products. So, the quantity x squared means x times x. Then, multiply x times negative 2y times 2. Twice is 2. Then, plus square the last term, negative 2y squared or negative 2 times negative 2. X times x is x squared and 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 or minus 4. X times y is xy. And negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Y times y is y squared. So this is the product of the square of binomial of x minus 2y squared is equal to x squared minus 4xy plus 4y squared. So, ito po ang square of a binomial. So, through this example, pwedeng ulit-ulitin para mas ma-clarify ang pagsasagot natin ng learning task. Dahil sa pag-complicated din ang pagsasagot nito, kailangan careful and analyze the given in solving spatial products. The third one, which is called a square of a trinomial. So the same procedure. Square the first term where let us consider A is a first term, B is the second term, C is the third term. So ang una i-square natin ang first term, A times A is A squared. Square the second term, B times B ay B squared. Square the third term, C times C is equal to C squared. Ang pang-apat na term, paano kukuhanin? Twice the product of the first and the second term. So 2 times A times B is 2AB. Ang panglimang term naman ay twice the product of the first term and the third term. Kaya 2 times A times C is 2AC. At ang pang-anim na term naman to get the product is twice the product of the second term and the third term. Kaya 2 times B times C is 2BC. So, ganyan natin isolve ang square of a trinomial. Pwede rin distributive property of multiplication over multiplication or addition, napakahaba lang. Pero ito ang pinaka-shortcut. So example, the quantity of 2x plus y minus 3z squared. Square that first term 2x times 2x squared. And that is mamaya. Then plus y, the quantity y squared, plus the quantity of negative 3z squared, plus 2 times the product of the first term 2x and the second term y, plus 2 times the product of the first term and the last term, which is 2x times negative 3z, plus 2 times the product of the second term y times the product of the third term negative 3z. So we have 2 times 2 is equal to 4. X times x is x squared. Plus, dahil plus yan, y times y is y squared. And negative 3 times negative 3 is positive or plus 9. Z times z is z squared. Then 2 times 2 is plus 4. X times y is xy. Then 2 times 2 ay 4. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12, kaya minus 12. And x times z is xz. Then 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, kaya minus 6, and y times z is yz. Therefore, this is the product of the square of trinomial of the quantity 3x plus y minus 3z squared equals to 4x squared plus y squared plus 9z squared plus 4xy minus 12xz minus 6yz. Another example, the quantity of m minus 2n plus 5p squared. Square the first term m squared, square the second term, negative the quantity negative 2n squared, plus the quantity 5p squared, plus 2 times the product of the first term and the second term, kaya m times negative 2n, plus twice the product of the first term and the third term, kaya 2 times m times 5p, plus twice the product of the second term and the third term, kaya 2 times negative 2n plus 5p. Next, m squared is m times m squared. Negative 2 times negative 2 ay plus 4, and n times n is equal to n squared. 5 times 5 is 25, and p times p ay p squared. Minus, but minus 2 times negative 2 ay negative 4, kaya minus 4. And m times n is equal to mn. 2 times 5 is equal to 10, kaya plus 10. And m times p is mp. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And negative 4 times 5 is negative 20 or minus 20. And n times p is np. So ito yung final product ng given na square of a trinomial. Okay, another example. Yan, meron pang another example kasi mas madaming example, mas maiintindihan natin. So the product of, or the quantity x plus y plus z squared is equal to, square the first term x times x is x squared. Square the second term y times y is y squared. Z squared is z times z. Then again, twice the product of the first and the second term. Kaya 2 times x times y ay 2xy. Twice the product of the first term and the third term, 2 times x times z. Kaya 2xz. And the last product of the term is twice the product of the second term and the third term, kaya 2yz. This is the product of the given. Next, example, the quantity of 4a minus 3b plus 2c squared. So, square the first term. 4 times 4 ay 16. A times a ay a squared. Square the second term. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive or plus 9. And b times b ay b squared. Squared the third term, 2 times 2 ay 4 plus 4. And c times c ay c squared. At ang pang-apat ay ating imumultiply ng dalawang beses ang first term at second term, kaya 2 times 4 ay 8. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24 or minus 24. And 8 times b is ab. Ang panlimang term ay imumultiply natin ng dalawang beses ang first term at ang third term. Kaya 2 times 4 ay 8 and 8 times 2 ay 16 plus 16. 8 times c is ac. And the last term of the trinomial product is equal to twice or 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And negative 6 times 2 is negative 12 or minus 12. And b times c is equal to bc. So, ito yung product ng given. I hope clear po ang ating dinidiscuss. Now, we will proceed to the next, which is the sum and the difference of the two binomial. So, in this given, the quantity, the first term parehas na a variable of a, parehas sila ng numerical coefficient. Also b, the difference is the sign of the last term or the second term. This is plus b at ito ay minus b. The sum and the difference. So use the FOIL method. Multiply the first term, a times a is a squared. Multiply the outer, a times negative b is negative ab. Multiply the inner, b times a is plus ab. And multiply the last term, positive b times negative b is negative b squared. If we solve ab minus ab, that is 0. Laging 0 ang gitna if the given is sum and difference of two binomial. Kailangan parehas ng numerical coefficient ng first term at ng second term. So, therefore, ang final answer, the product is a squared minus b squared. It means the shortcut computation for the sum and difference of two binomial is multiply the first term and multiply the last term. Multiply the first term, a times a is a squared. Multiply the last term, b times negative b is negative b squared. Example. Multiply the first term, applicable only the FL method in sum and difference of two binomials. Hindi pwede doon sa iba. Pwede ninyong i-apply ang FOIL method kung kayo ay nako-confuse pa. Pero pag trinomial ang pinag-usapan, apply kung ano ang mga shortcut computation. So, 2x times 2x plus the product of the last term, 3y times negative 3y. And 2 times 2 is equal to 4. X times x is x squared. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9 or minus 9. And y times y is equal to y squared. Therefore, the product of the sum and difference of 2x and 3y is 4x squared minus 9y squared. Another example, the product of x plus 5 and x minus 5. Pareha silang x, pareha silang 5. Ang isa lang, ang pahuli, of course, the second term is plus 5 and the second term, the second binomial is minus 5. So multiply the first term, x times x. Multiply the last term, 5 times negative 5. And x times x is x squared. And 5 times negative 5 is equal to minus 25. Another example, y plus 10 times y minus 10. Pareha silang y, pareha silang 10. The difference is ang isa ay plus 10, ang isa ay minus 10. Multiply the first term, y times y is y squared. Multiply the last term, 10 times negative 10 is negative 100 or minus 100. So I hope clear po sa inyo ang the sum and the difference of two binomial. Now, the cube of a binomial. Ito po. So careful po tayo in solving this. Follow the procedure to solve the spatial product. Okay, ito yung the quantity of A plus B. Ito ang first term, ito ang second term. Tatlong beses natin, ang ibig sabihin niyan, tatlong beses natin imumultiply ang A times B and A times B times A times B. Pwede natin gamitin ang dalawa muna ang ating imumultiply at ganun din yung magiging trinomial ay ating imumultiply to another AB using distributive property. But the shortcut computation is this. Cube the first term. A times A times A times A times A is A cube. Then, thrice the product of the square of the first term and the second term. Ang ating lang i-square ay ang first term. So, 3 times A times B. Kaya 3A squared B. Pagkuha ng product at ng pan-third term ng cube of a binomial, imumultiply natin ng tatlo ng 3 times the product of the first term and the square of the second term. Ang i-square naman natin ay second term. Kaya 3 times A times B times B. Kaya 3AB squared. At ang panghuling term na ating i-compute ay the cube of the second term. B times B times B is B cube. So still we apply the laws of exponent in solving the cube of a binomial. So this is the procedure of how to solve the cube of a binomial. I repeat, cube the first term. Tatlong beses i-multiply ang first term. Thrice the product of the square of the first term and second term. 3 times the square of the first term times the second term. And next, thrice the product of the first term and the square of the second term. So 3 times A times the square of the second term. And the last term of the cube of a binomial is cube the second term. So, imumultiply natin ng tatlong beses ang second term. Example. Okay, the quantity of A minus B cube. The quantity A cube, A times A times A. Then, thrice the product of the square of the first term, kaya A squared, times the third term, kaya times negative B. Plus 3 times the product of the first term of A and the square of the second term, kaya the quantity negative B squared, plus the quantity negative B cubed. So we have A times A times A is A cubed. 3 times A is, 3. Ang A squared and negative B is negative, kaya minus, kaya minus 3A squared B. 3 times 1 times negative, negative times negative is positive, kaya positive plus 3 siya. So A, bring down A, and negative B times negative B is B squared. Then, the last term, negative B times negative B is positive B. And positive B times negative B is negative B cubed. Negative B, I repeat, negative B times negative B is positive B squared, and B squared times negative B is negative B cubed. So this is the cube of a binomial. Another example, 3A minus 2 cube. So 3A cube, ibig sabihin 3A times 3A times 3A. Then, times 3 or 3 times the product of the square of the first term, kaya the quantity 3A squared, times the second term, negative 2, plus 3 times the product of 3A times the square of the second term, kaya the quantity negative 2 squared, plus the quantity negative 2 cubed. So therefore, Kaya nag-come up itong 27, 3 times 3 times 3, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. Then a times a times a is a cube. Next dito, 3 times 3 ay 9. 9 times 3, 27. 27 times negative 2 minus 54 or negative 54. And a times a is a squared. Next, 3 times 3 ay 9. And 2, negative 2 times negative 2 ay positive 4. Kaya 4 times 9 ay positive or plus 36. And bring down a. Negative 2 times negative 2 ay positive 4. And 4 times negative 2 is negative 8, kaya minus 8. Therefore, the cube, the quantity 3a minus 2 raised to the exponent of 3 is equal to 27a cubed minus 54a squared plus 36a minus 8. Last example or next example, the quantity of 2x plus 5y raised to the exponent of 3, it means tatlong beses natin i-multiply ang first term ng 2x. Then, 3 times the product of the square of the first term, kaya the quantity 2x squared, times the second term of 5y, plus 3 times the first term of 2x, times the square of the second term, the quantity 5y squared, plus the cube of the second term, kaya the quantity 5y cubed. 2x times 2x times 2x. So, 2 times 2 ay 4. 4 times 2 ay 8. Kaya 8 ang first term natin. And x times x ay x squared. X squared times x ay x cubed. Then, dito tayo. 2 times 2 ay 4. 4 times 3 ay 12. And 12 times 5 ay positive 60 or plus 60. X times x is x squared times y ay x squared y. Then dito naman, itong ating dodoblehin, kaya 5 times 5 ay 25. 25 times, dahil ito ay 6, 3 times 2 ay 6, 6 times 25 ay 150. And x times y is equal to xy squared. Then itong 5y, the quantity 5y cubed, 5 times 5 is 25. And 25 times 5 is 125. Then y times y is equal to y cubed. Therefore, the quantity 2x plus 5y raised to the exponent of 3 is equal to 8x cubed plus 60 x squared y plus 150x y squared plus 125 y cubed. Kung ma-observe ninyo, itong x cube pababa hanggang sa mawala doon sa dulo. At ang nag-i-increase ang exponent naman is the variable of y. Naka-arrange siya in order. So, I hope clear po ang 5 special product na diniscuss po natin for today. So, our special products are the following. A product or product of a binomial, square of a binomial, square of a trinomial, the sum and difference of two binomial, and a cube of a binomial. So I hope makatulong ang video ito para mas masolve natin ng maayos ang lahat ng learning tasks at mga additional activities na ibibigay at ibinigay ng ating mga guro. So in our learning task number 1, find the product and do this in your separate sheet of paper. So, ayan ang special product na number 1. So, ito yung pangalawa. Ito yung, walang nakalagay, naka-indicate kung anong squared. So, pwede nating number 2 ay squared, the quantity squared. Ang number 3 ay the sum and difference of two binomial. Number 4 ay the cube of a binomial. Number 5 is the cube of the binomial. At number 6 ay square of a binomial. So, the same also kung anong gagawin natin dito, kung anong ginawa natin, balikan po natin ang video para mas maayos natin masagutan ang learning task 1 and learning task 2. In learning task 3, I try to figure the square at the right and find the area of the given. So, ang rectangle natin ay length times width at ang area ng square ay s squared. Multiply to itself and solve with solution kung pwede or depende kung ano ang instruction ng subject teacher. So, yun po ang lesson natin for this week about the spatial product and hindi po kakalimutan ang napag-aralan in laws of exponent. So, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Keep safe. God bless.